All right. YouTube's working too? Looks like it. I was making sure YouTube was working as well. And I saw your message, so I'm guessing that's a yes. Well, we're back on working on the despoiler. I got my kit for the. I get the parts so I can magnetize the head, which will make it way easier to do it. It'll make it way easier to paint, honestly. Because it's a separate piece. So. I'm shocked at you, wifey. I haven't seen any critter emotes yet. To get this head piece out. Because this will help me my magnet orientations. There you go. And you know what? One of the things I needed to get at Menards, totally did not get. And yes, that's better. So distracted by sod and other items, did not get glue. So I will make do with what I got for the time being. I did not. I didn't put it on. I did not make a list. Yep. So. Oh well. I'll make do with what I got. No, I made lists for other stuff, just not for that. Mm-hmm. There we see, looks like a water buffalo and a rhinoceros. You were outside a lot, so makes sense that you got dark. Oh, okay. Oh, because your stomach is upset. 47 and 46. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. These are the two colors I got. So, I'm honestly thinking the emerald. Yeah. I think the emerald over the silver. I don't know, the turquoise. I mean, they're both. So I'm like, I could do the emerald over the silver for the body and then the turquoise for the trim. I don't know. I'll have to play. But yeah, those are the colors I picked up. I'll have to play with that and figure it out. 47, 46. For the one after this, I don't, honestly, yet. I could do that. Oh, goodness. Still zoomed all the way in. Hey, amazing wife. Could Could you get me something? Please. Definitely needs to come down. I forgot to turn that off. Oh, okay. Could you? Would you? Please. Get some rum. See, now how are you supposed to do that? In a box with a fox? How about I would like to be in the fox's box? That one was your fault. Well, I don't have 12-year-olds watching my channel, so, well, hopefully not. If you're 12 years old, you shouldn't be watching. Mature audiences only. Well, okay, not mature. Legal audiences only. Let's put it that way, because I am not mature. Definitely gotta file that down a bit. What's up, Jersey? What are you doing this evening? I'm just grinding this out a little bit so it fits better for that piece right there. There we go. Okay. Nice. Thank you, beautiful. I heard that movie's better than like a lot of people expected. Oh, good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I've heard it from multiple people. Like, this is way better than we thought it would be. Good, my timey thingy's working right. That's gonna hold that there for a moment. This, I get this cleaned up. So I have my head here to test. So I need to go on like that. Break that off because apparently that's what I was going to be doing with these guys. Fine. Go in there for a moment. Okay. My ouch. That hurt. Hmm? Letter's gotta go up. Letter's gotta go up. You go in that. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about spoiling it. I don't think it's a movie we're going to be seeing anytime soon. I'm just thrilled we got to watch the Project Hail Mary one. Llama. Putting llamas in my chat. Putting YouTube llamas in my chat. It's a YouTube drama llama. Do what you want. do. Up, numbers up. Okay. Should be having plastic pliers makes things a lot easier. Up. All right, so numbers up, numbers up, out. Huh? So you have to switch between glues, but it is the life of resin. As resin, plastic cement does not work on resin. So let's switch between super glue and resin. Alright, that's the first bit of magnetization done. That deserves a sip of rum. Salute. Delightful rum. Okay. Sit there and hold this for a moment. Listen, that's why we bought the Sapporo. So you can have a beer. So if you want the beers, you can have the beers. The beers. Alrighty, 49 and 48. 49 goes on that side. Oh, I'm supposed to have the skull on first. Isn't there another one? I thought there was another skull that I wanted to use. Ow, fucker. There is. So which one do I want to use? I'll go with that one. It's gonna be different. Alright, so you need to do this, do this, do this. There, there, there. Okay, so you need that. Ow. Okay. Asshole. There's a different face I want to use. Very much. Shield generator. Weapons I can't use. Spears are pointy assholes. Ooh. Turn on the air conditioning, hun. I'm the one toasty under the lights. Cool. Oh, goodness. Go make your food, sir. Get yourself some sustenance. Alright, so I'm putting the face on here. I'm thinking. Do I do this mask? I'll keep it's cool. That's what I want to use. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Move away. It's hard to see it on camera, but just need to trim that down a little bit. That'll look great. But now, click. Magnetized head. So, cool. Only the head, correct, not the mask. I glued the mask on for like this guy. Because you can do the masks outside of, you don't have to put the mask on. They can have they can do the head without the mask. And a lot of people do that, like you just have this, exposed thing. But I think that mask looks cool. That's why I want to use that. So that's 48. 48 goes on this side. I'm sure I could find a way to magnetize the mask if I wanted to, but I'm not. Honestly, I don't know if I'll ever actually swap the heads, because I really like how that one came out. But the reason I'm doing the magnetization for the mask on the head on this one is, honestly, it made painting it way easier, because otherwise I'd have to attach it to this and then paint it while it's on here. And that just adds a level of complexity that I'm like, I'm not. I was like, I didn't realize how much easier it was going to be to paint that and get, like, I wouldn't have gotten the detail on that I did if I didn't have access to it the way I did. I mean, and the kits come with an extra head, so I just have to reglue the little tubes back on, but I could put another head on, another mask on it, and swap between two different heads. There's dinosaurs now. So, like, the magnet bearing kits have everything I need to do it. I just don't think I will. Like, that'll probably be what I'll do, is I'll probably set up the other one with another mask just to paint, if I wanted to swap it out for something. But I don't foresee that too much, because I really like the mask I'm using here, and then I'm thinking the kind of Scream style mask will go on the last one of these that I gotta build. Same thing with the shield, like I didn't have to. I didn't need to magnetize the shield, but I did it because, realistically, again, painting this was so much easier when it was off. So, now the Tyrant, I see peacocks. The Tyrant, that one's going to be a bit of a challenge, because he's the big guy. That you have the box, but I'm not magnetizing him, because I have zero desire to field him any other way than the way he is. Realistically, if I'm going to do a close combat version, I will build it. I will buy another one and build it as a close combat version. But I don't think I'll be doing that, at least not for a while. Because I like him. I mean, it has the most powerful ranged weapons out of the entire army are on that guy. Brimstone Volcano Lance and the Bonkers Plasma Weapon are the most powerful ranged weapons I have. So I'd much rather just use those as the most powerful ranged weapons I can have. There we go, so clicky. There we go. That's done up. Now that I'm also starting to do this, I will need to make my bin of parts for this guy. Don't need this anymore. Oh, I got to do little decorations now. 61s. Don't want the eagles. Oh. 61. Not on that bit. So maybe? Smack the microphone. It's always good. There's 60s, 58s. There are 61s. Okay. A lot of these little guys. These work out well because they're skulls. So 2 on the front. Yeah, I'm not gonna that button on live. Let's not bump into the camera. Okay, well, actually, let's just get. I need 4 more of those. Let's get them all out. So many little bits in this guy. Cute little turtle. I see the turtle. Or turtle over there. It's raining sideways. Four. Where did those go? Oh, down there. Okay. Okay. Pull those out. These are tiny little pieces. They go right there. Right there. Okay. Corners, so that's what I was trying to determine. You got these little spots up here. You go on these like little edge caps. Only 2 divide. Yeah. Hello, Big Hijinks. One, I'm amazed you got 2 defilers. Everything I've seen about them just selling out practically instantly. And yeah, that's them's lots. I saw that they're going to eBay for like $300, which is nuts. Nice, good score. I do know somehow Magnet Baron came out with a no drill magnetization kit for that, which it's gotta be really hard because it's got like curved joints and things. But props to you for getting them. That's awesome. They're a great looking model. What are you building them as? Like what flavor of chaos? Because I know they got bits for everything. World leaders. Nice. Corn. Yeah, the Warhammer store I was at today, there was a discussion about the defilers and how people can't get them. The fact you got two, fucking fantastic. That is awesome, honestly. Are you building them at the same time? Did I just not see the chat where you said that you're building them at the same time? So I would worry about like mixing shit up. Good gravy. You are far more organized than... Even for my war dogs, I did them one at a time. I would not trust myself to build them more than one shot. I mean, I've got two of these night kits, but I'm only doing one of these at a time because I would mess that up. Something fierce, I know it. Scarcity comes from the fact that despite their popularity, they're not that big. They don't have that big in manufacturing. And their manufacturing facility is being expanded in the UK, but it encountered crazy delays due to the most random fucking thing being that there was an endangered species of bat. And this is not a joke. This is actually what happened. There's an endangered bat species living in the air, like on the property that they had planned to build. And when they were doing the surveys, it came across like, hey, you can't build here. You're going to kill that endangered critter. So it turned into all kind of like, really, like, you can't make it up. It's just like, all right. So their whole, like, I'm sure they wanted to have their manufacturing up to snuff for 11th edition coming out. But who expected there to be an endangered species of critter living in the area they wanted to build? So they're kind of like well, we'll do what we can, because they can't dedicate the facility to make as many of the defilers as they want, because they got to make a bunch of other shit. They're still doing all the production for 11th, because that's going to sell well, because the models look great. The orcs are amazing in the new edition. I'm looking forward to getting that box because I want the Orkies. As soon as I'm available to purchase it, we're going to purchase it. Pretty much. Well, Batman doesn't defeat capitalism. Batman supports capitalism 100%. That's why instead of doing something, beneficial with his billions of dollars with the society, he decides to go vigilante. You could build programs. You could support, all kinds of shit. No. He's like, I want to spend money on my fancy toys. Because I can't get over anything. Where's my spots and bits? I'm too fucking... I got too much money that I can't afford to get to fucking therapy and accept that, bad shit happen. You are ruining my joke. Wife. You're supposed to support my horrible jokes. Alright, so this goes, that's... Alright. Am I missing? No, there was someone did some study way back where they showed that it's... Even with Bruce Wayne doing his philanthropic thing, Batman would be more beneficial to have him crank all of it into philanthropy and programs rather than being Batman. I don't have... Did I drop another piece back here? Almost fall out of the bag. So did the head. That's the spots and magnetizations. Anyway, hijinks. I'm currently doing the Magnet Baron magnetization kit. And that's Defender, Phosphorus Blaster. And I'm trying to... Okay, so that goes... Where's the shield, though? Oh, I can't magnetize the shield? Does not look like they include the... They don't. Okay. So they do not include what I need to magnetize the shield on this. Because the sponson just has... For the guns... It's just the sponson for the guns. It doesn't include the magnetization bit for the shield. Okay. So. Because, like this guy, I have the shield magnetized so I can pop it off. And it came with this piece here is where then the magnet goes into. This little guy right here, this is magnetized. That's 3D printed. So I can just click shield. But for this kit, because technically this is a different model, it's the Questoris, they don't have that piece. So I'll need to figure this one out, because I want to do that. And part of what I'm doing, though, is shield. For this guy, you're supposed to have either this shield, which is boring, or that boring shield, or that less boring shield. 80 degrees currently. Per Ale Williams. I'll bump that back. Let's move that out of the way. But, anywho, I'm not going to be using any of those shields because they're boring and non-chaos. Fuck that, we worship the dark gods here. So, I'm going to find 87. There it is. I'm not going to use any of those boring shields. I'm going to use this chaosified shield with rags and chains. So, but I have an idea. And 86. Boring shields of boringness. Don't want no fucking Emperor loving stuffs and their corpse god. Corpse Emperor. I rented that apartment because it was cheap as shit. I can't even imagine what's renting for now if it's like $2,000 a month or something psycho. A garden apartment is below grade. It's not that we had a garden, it's the apartment was actually technically below ground, like a basement. Yeah. 2000. This doesn't. This right one. Oh no, there's supposed to be a C140 piece. There's supposed to be a piece that goes in the back. There it is. 680 a month. Plug 680 into an inflation calculator. It was still cheap. It was really cheap. Probably because it had no parking, no laundry. The kitchen was smaller than most closets because it was a converted closet to a kitchen. I'm not even sure it was legal apartment conversion. That's supposed to go in there somehow. Okay, I'm gonna have to make this work. Yeah, that's still so. Because that already has that there. That's why. Huh. What if I were to take these? I'll look it up. 60. I can't remember what it was. 60 something Sealy Avenue. If you look it on Google Maps, see if it's. See if you can find the building. It was on Sealy, just north of Devon. Technically, it was a one-bedroom apartment, but it had some major drawbacks. Being that it was street parking, and there was no parking. Like, there were nights that I'd be driving around for 2 to 3 hours trying to find a spot to park. So, and that happened on more than one occasion. That's honestly the reason when we got hitched. That's the apartment I had when I moved around after. That's my first solo place I had out here. Now I'm modifying the shield to fit. That sounds right. It's the first building north of Devon on Sealy. Well, you were living the life of luxury by my standards. Yeah, there was no laundry, no parking. I lived in Chicago. I live in the suburb of Chicago now. When I grew up in Los Angeles and I moved out here. That was my first solo place out here. It was a good place. I lived there for 2 years, I think. It's around there, 2 years-ish. You see the actual rental listing? So it would be in the 1145 to 2045. So whatever the average between those two is. So in the 1600 range. So you'd be at 1600 a month for a place with no washer, no washer dryer, no parking, only street parking. Questionable security. It's like home for me, man. And a kitchen that was literally in built-in closet. Like there was a closet, and we couldn't. It didn't have a regular size fridge. It had one of those like mini fridges, like what we have downstairs for my in-laws. It had technically it was a 4-burner stove, but it was half the size of a normal stove, and like a small sink off in another area. I barely use that kitchen. It's mainly a spot to feed the cats. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm modifying the shield to fit the mounting bracket that this shield takes. This thing takes. So anywho. So now that I got... Yeah, the windows were just like up to here. At me was the bottom of the window, and then you had a window. Because it was in the basement. It was it's what they call a garden unit out here. Turn that off. Okay, now I need to get... Ooh, look at that room. Room. Yeah, I mean, I won't complain about it because it served me well while I was there. Yep. I'd have to walk myself stuff down to the laundromat and chill there and chill with the laundry. The thing is, though, it's 4 hours for you, but you're doing it in your place, right? Sometimes they'd go to the laundromat and just wait, because they'd have to wait for a fucking dryer or something to become available. Yep. This is the first place we've had where we can just go do our laundry and not have to worry about that. It's nice. Yep. The laundry was in the basement. There were a handful of washers and dryers down there. And it was shared between all the units in our building, which was 6 units. No, it was only 4 because the bottom units had their own washer dryers. We didn't share it with... they had their own washer dryers, so we didn't have to worry about them. So it was one set shared amongst 4 4 families. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm modifying this little piece to work like the 3D printed piece where I can insert a magnet. And here's my magnets. So, yay, having tools. Else this would not be that functional. Take my letters going up. Becoming Lula, okay. Letters up, so I want that to go that way. No. She's trying to be a bad gremlin. She's being a bad gremlin. I just heard the wife say no bed. Is she a bad gremlin? Okay, so then you're a good puppy dog. Alright, oops. Have to go through.
For the Emperor!
Alright, boom. Just sitting there looking at me. Alright, so now I've modified this. Lula, can you see me? Go down. Down. Lula, look at me. She's ignoring me. Alright, so. Okay, so now I got that in. Now this goes just in there like that. So I'll take this one. Okay, she laid down. Yeah, having the ability to do your laundry in your home is a delightful thing. Okay, so take that. So don't lose that. I will make this work. Whoa. Now I will have a magnetized shield. Whoa. Think you can get away without giving me my magnetizations? Just because gluing it to my hand, apparently. Alright, so that's how powerful. These tiny, like these magnets are super duper tiny. Yet they're like ridiculously strong. Alright, anywho. They doubt the power of a determined person with tools. Right. I am that determined idiot with tools. That needs a little bit more filing. Determinate? Possibly. I'm indeterminate? Oh, no, head go there. Needs a little bit more. Oh, that's good. Okay. Like tomatoes. I did not know I was like tomatoes. I like tomatoes. I think tomatoes is tasty. Tomatoes don't know what they are. See alligators appear in chat. Why don't the tomatoes know what they are? Tomatoes should know if they're tomatoes. What did the poor tomatoes do that they don't know what they are? By acting this much of a fool and making it so that my wife will never want to give me rum again while I'm streaming. No, that's what makes them taste better. The sapient tomatoes, you can taste their joy in life. Either one, frankly. I mean, why else do you think pork tastes so good? Look up how long a pig orgasms for. What? They have like 30-minute orgasms. So, yeah. If I had a 30-minute orgasm, one, I'd probably die. But two, I'd probably taste great. So there you go. Magnetized shield. It's a little tweaked, but that's fine. It's chaos. All right. Boop. Okay, so we got the head sit over there. Next bit of science, magnets are science, is the gun, which, let me see the pieces it uses, because it uses, I'm not putting on stubber, this one's getting the melt-a-gun. That's the plasma, that's the stubber right there. Where's the parts for the Melta? There's you got the Melta. There we go. Okay. So 39 and 40. Really? Okay, that's it. $39 and $40 is what I'm doing. Numbers. I need to see the numbers. Little eagle heads. Not on that one. I should put this one on the bottom because it's not going to be the one with the heavy plasma, I don't think. No, that's the top cannons. How about you? No, those are the top cannons. Just something else I'm not going to be using because I can't. Oh, no, I can't. There, 39. There's 39. Nippy. Nippy. Nipples. And 40 over there. targeting eyeball. Doop. Okay, and this is the neat bit. So this here is for one. This is like the indirect fire missile pod. This is the rockets. They came up with a way to magnetize these front faces. So for the rocket pod on top, you just pop off the face if you want to use the missiles compared to the rockets. Which that is slick, because I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. I actually am going to be able to do that. Anywho, that is the joy of quality designing. Just because I'm annoying. Absolutely annoying. To drill out my barrels. That's level 2. So that way. If you don't have to drill much, just enough. Yo, hopefully I caught that. I'm on the mute. Good. Did you order my race car, wifey? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we probably want to get to the free shipping. At least this doesn't have a good compartment to keep the stuff in. At least if it does, I don't know how you open it to empty it. Oh, never mind. I'll shut up. Okay. FMRT. I am Flipmart. See if I get to pulling off the body panels. If I start working on the body panels tonight, then I gotta bust out the, or it might be tomorrow, I gotta bust out the leftover War Dog bits to get spikes and stuffs to use to chaosify it, because it's all smooth and clean. Chaos likes a little fluff on their stuff. The Emperor's all about the smooth. Giggity. Giggity, giggity. Alright, so here this goes. Gonna eat ya. That goes first, and then this comes second. There's my... That's enough commicking for now? Okay. Oh yeah. Bam. I like this freaking silly thing. I really do. Like, I got all my stuff easy to... I literally have everything accessible to me now. All my controls. Got that there. I've got all my volume controls and camera controls right here. The Lilycam didn't turn off. I've got my light controls right here so I can make myself brighter. They're the least used, so they're on the keyboard. And I got that up there. That's like that. There's the Meltagun. Just this guy's way of dealing with. Okay, so anywho, get back to my magnet storing head. Where's my... This is the one I need. Break this guy off. A little bit of filing. Let's drop it. But yeah, I'm digging the controls. I guess I don't have my YouTube viewer count thing is not working. Don't know why. We'll check into that. I'm not gonna worry about it though. Alright, so letters go up. That's my consistent thing, is the letters on these pieces go up. Because you've got to make sure you have your magnets in the right orientation or else this doesn't work. So the letters go up. Using the side of my desk here to give me a good firm spot to push against so I can sit that magnet all the way in. Now, perfect. Zoom. Let a race car go zoom. There's an extra magnet right there. There, good that. You go over there. Done with those little ones for now.
Death to the foul warriors of chaos.
And in. So we've got that. Okay, so mount the gun. First off, I take. Okay, there's a notch. Make sure I glue in. Put some glue there in that notch, and a little bit around. That goes through to notch in there. Then, because that's plastic and this is resin, I need this guy. Take a little bit of this. Dab right there. Dab right there. Dab, 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 dab. It's there. This gets kind of clicked in. And then it falls out. Clicked in there, glued it to my fingers. It's always good. There we go. It's super glued and does that. Okay. Letters up, letters up. check this, because that needs a little bit of filing to get in there. Onto the round file. Work our way down a little bit. I see dodo and flamingos. Letters go up. And perfect. That'll work right there. Yep. Okay, letters go up. Off. Shield is solid. You can go there now. And now we put the super glue because this is the resin. That's a lot. That's way too much. Just go up. So we'll squeeze that in and wipe off excess. Wipe off excess off the top. All right. I'm going to try not to glue myself too much. That is. Alrighty. So now we got. Oh, still managed to glue myself. So we got all the front magnetization points done. So that's the, I gotta make sure that I see that exposure adjusting. So now I've got, for the shield, the head, and the small melta. Which also makes them infinitely easier to paint. Okay, back to building. Knocking over stuff. We were over here. That's the stubber. Oh, now it wants me to do the carapace, which that is not mounting the carapace to this. So we will skip ahead a few steps because I'm not going to be doing, well, it wants me to, the instructions are to glue it all together with the carapace on it right now, which that I'm not doing because I need to paint it separately. I'm going to primer and paint it separate, so it wants me to glue that on right now and work from there, but then getting up in there would just be impossible. So I do this separate. So I did it for that one, and it worked immensely easier. I decided to take it off because I wanted to confirm something. Oof. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the carapace. Jeez, on a stick I need to put ladder rungs on there. A lot of little details, but I'll work on the carapace later. Yeah. Because the pilot technically is supposed to climb in and sit in here. It's the pilot's compartment. So these little dots here are for ladder rungs. So they can climb up and get in. Chaos doesn't care and chains the things shut so the pilot never comes out. Anyway. Okay, so now let's get on to the weapons. Alright, that's that. That's the Canis Rex, which Which I'm not worried about that, because I'm not going to do the melt of that. Could do the battle cannon barrel. But let's get back up to the weapons. There we go, okay. Okay, so the weapons I'm going to be working with are, here's the extra weapon I have. I picked up online. This is one of the Gatling cannons. I'm going to clean this one up because it's trimmed off horribly, but someone bought this kit specifically to part it out and sell it. So, they did not trim it or clean it properly, but it was never their intent to assemble it. Okay, so I got lots of these guys. A18s, A18s, and there should be a whole pack of magnets for me to use. So, okay, anywho. So, what I need to do first is, I didn't magnetize. Now on the other one, I followed the instructions to magnetize the joints here, but, ooh, did he post it in the Discord or something? He had to have. It's awesome. Well, let's take a look at that. Beatles. But anywho, in the, so in the, on the big night over here, my abominate, I magnetize the shoulder joints, the ones right here, but they are powerful magnets, and realistically, I'm not going to be using those. I'm only ever going to be switching this between the plasma, the Gatling cannons, which I have an extra Gatling cannon right here, the battle cannons, and then some of the melee weapons. Because maybe the Melta, but I don't know if I can. I think the Melta shares a front, so the Demon Breath thermal cannon. The auto cannon. No. It was the Despoiler Batling cannon. I can't even use the plasma, so I'm not going to use the plasma. Okay. So I would go with the Meltagun. Possibly. So, okay. So I got you for Gatling Cannon 1. You for Gatling Cannon 2. You for battle cannon. Alright. I just need to take counts. Gatling Cannon 1. Gatling Cannon 2. Battle Cannon. Meltagun. Then I think the melee weapons have their own. Alright. That's the plasma in that. So let's take a look at my instructions. Pretty confident the melee weapons have their own setup because they did on the other ones. So I can't use the plasma, I can use the Melta. There's the battle cannon. They do have their own. So do I have 2 sets? That's the claw. I'm not going to worry about this chainsword. Or even really the claw. Because they've got those claws. Okay. So I got enough bits. I need this. I'm trying to figure out is the... Let's work on the arms. That's the battle cannon. Let's do the Gatling cannon since I got one here. Okay. Work on one Gatling cannon right now. Actually, before that, no, I need to do the shoulders first with these guys. I have an extra set of Ghostosaurus biceps. Perfect. Because they gave me extras. Because that's what they want. They want you to have options for everything. Muttering is me making sure I've got all the parts I need before I start cutting and modifying and making things work. Which I do. Is this the spoilers have the most weapon options out of all the Chaos Knights. They're almost always fielded with the twin Gatling cannon, which I have an extra Gatling cannon, so I can field 2. Do a double Gatling cannon. But I do not want to exclude the ability to do one with the battle cannon. Or one with the Melta, because that Melta is really potent. So, ordering from Jetpets. Okay. You got a brush, as well, a little broom. In addition to my little sweepy guy. That was the other thing I wanted, was a little broom to sweep up stuffs. And have a little dust broom. Is there only one? Yeah, if there is, oh well. Piece cracked off on this one. Well, won't be able to see it in the slightest, so. Smooth cleanup filing. Okay, now we need the shoulder pieces, which are not on this one. They are 96, 90, and 96. You can sit over here. I'm not using you anytime soon. Absolutely breaking out the power tools. I hear your airbrushing station is finished, sir. Over here. There we are. Very nice, very nice. I will be looking at it after the stream. Oh, 90, 96. Oh no, 96 and 90? That's 93? 90, 96. That's that arm. That's that arm. Bending bottles and racks. That's fair. And I'm doing the magnetization kit from Magnet Baron for the Questoris, which does require a bit of cleanup. But they said that when we met them, like, make sure you have a file and you have everything you need. I made a point to ask us. There it is. Oh, thank you. What a teat. I've been called that on many occasions, sir. Now, we were messing around with the cameras and we're like, you know what? I can put it here so you can see the paints. More overflow of paints. These are full bottle, brand new bottles. My basing supplies.
For the Emperor!
George, the Wraith Knight. The spinning turntable is actually right here in the corner. And we did this so you can see a sleepy puppy. It was in a weird little kind of croissant shape at the moment. I'm also... That's fair. And I'm also now live on YouTube. Or I'm dual streaming this stuff now. Yeah, I do definitely need to grind this out a little bit. I've been called a tit, teat, you name it. I've been called a lot of things in life. But salute to your airbrush station. I found that enough. It's still really tight. No, it needs a bit more. little bit more. Other than a little bit of grinding, these kits are actually really, really good. Require very little work. Honestly, I'm having more of a fight from the actual the Knight Questoris than I am from the friggin' Mega Baron stuffs. If I had to do a lot of grinding and cleaning up on this guy. Better, better. Yeah, that works. Ooh, blackout blinds. Nice. And some from Velix as well. So do they... So there's blackout. Is the off-white the color you wanted? Or is it because it's off-white, it's not blackout? Okay. Come on. All right then. There's lots of crazy technology stuff out there. So if it's that part, that's. I think. Probably. Yeah, blue cam worked. There you go, that works better. I think it's the inside one that's being the more of a pain. Okay, so then this clicky into that. That I like. That sounds pretty damn good. I hope it works as intended. It does. Or a good nap. That's true. There we go. There we go. All right, now it fits. Let me go just a little bit more on the center base. I think that's what my big holdup is. 14 minutes, huh? That is an oddly specific amount. I have specific conditions in which I shut off, which is mostly listening to some very specific YouTubers. That being said, one of them has now accepted that they put people to sleep and has now made a whole channel about putting people to sleep. So, it's funny because we realize that I'm like, I've probably given this guy so many views while not conscious. That's your body's clock. It's nice knowing that it works that way. That's good. Ain't that the truth? Alright, so anyway, all that grinding in bits was so I could get this piece mounted here. Because that piece will be there. Because then I'll put these little guys with the magnets go like that. And they'll click on. Man, that is. Grind this out a bit as well. Uh-oh. Hello there, Jason.
It's probably a grade in your channel with 5 viewers.
Thank you for the raid. How are you doing this evening? Welcome to Person Struggles with Magnetization. We be grinding. Anywho, I am the producer's son. I am covered in resin dust. I am working on a Warhammer. Well, thank you for the raid and run, Jason. I am a avid Warhammer 40k player, and Warhammer Mage Sigmar, all their, realistically any of their stuffs. And right now I'm working on a Chaos Knight kit. Chaos Knights are these big, stompy robot beasties. This is the last one I just finished. Part of my grinding is so that I can magnetize weapons and attach different weapons as needed. That is what I'm currently working on. There's a small one up on the turnstile. Oh, we're also live on YouTube's now. I have to zoom out? Yeah, well, yeah, the night's big enough I have to zoom out. He too big. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's when I finished last week. I finished him up. So this is the next one. This is the base. I did the base up. There'll be resin fills in these spots. Then I'll decorate this up so it'll look like stones. This is going to be frozen ice with stuff in it. And this is the torso that I'm working on. Right now I am finished on Friday. Modifying this up to fit magnets so I can do the same thing with this guy's arms. First, we'll take a moment, but thank you, sir, for the raid. I do gotta zoom out because these guys are big. There we go. Okay. Look at my instructions real quick so I can see the right magnets. So that's the A16 No, A16 is the thingy. This is a 6x2 magnets. All right, to the bag of magnets. Here we go. Six by two, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. That pile. Okay, so 6x2, I got 10 of these. Okay, what matters specifically is I need to keep them the same orientation. Okay, got. Let's see, these are also 6x2s. Yep, I got more. Perfect. So we will leave that in that orientation. Actually, let's do, I got an idea. Okay, that's the side I want. So, okay. Let's go like this. We put that in there. happening right now with that. So back on the little grindy grind. Just a quick zip. Don't want to do much, just enough. Okay, let's get this, make sure we're in the right. That's the right orientation. I'm checking on the knight next to me to make sure that I'm keeping the magnets same orientation, so I want to swap out those weapons onto this guy, I can do that, and vice versa. Yeah, man. R identical, all R for convenience purposes. Alpha. All 10 of these rings, very strong. These have different. Hold on a sec. I'm being an idiot. Alright, so that takes 22R. Okay, that's fine there. A1. Bicep ring, that's okay, that's fine. 22. No, that's the right one, okay. Alright. The biceps are 22 L and R. 22 L and R. Take this all 6x2 magnets, which is what I'm using. Okay, so I've just got to get this to squeeze its butt in there, and it's fighting me. I don't want to take too much resin out with this because frankly, because it's only held in with friction. Could put the apple glue if it comes loose though. Just want to shade a little bit out of it. Everything is fine with me. So checking on the weapon here. Okay, that's the right orientation. And we insert magnets. Almost. I keep dropping them. I gotta make sure I'm looking at the right orientation. Okay. This goes in like that. Man, I do not want to go in. Why are these guys fighting me so much today? Everything's fighting me. Alright, well. A bit more out. Could be. Here we go. Oh, really? We're almost in. Alright. Better. Now I can send it off. Now I can not stab myself. I'm not stabbing myself. Okay. Goal is not to stab myself, which I'm doing. Man, I almost had this in with a friggin' tap this in with a hammer. I ain't got a hammer to do that though. I am not. I'm telling myself that I'm not, and I'm actually succeeding at not doing that. Moving my desk slightly though. Alright, finally. Got the friggin' magnet in. So now I'll be able to put this guy's guns on here. Goal. Cheese on a stick. Why was this one so hard? Alright. So let's get back on to. So I assemble the Gatling cannon. Let's go to my Gatling cannon instructions here. Okay, so that's pretty much right off the bat. All right. So a 18. These rings, and all of them required some extensive grinding, but they told me that it would do that. They said that was going to be the case. These are the bicep rings, so yeah, these don't quite fit in there. So I remember having to file them down a bit first, and then I had to grind a bunch. Now there's bacterium in YouTube chat. And grind those flat. And then I had to round it off a bit. And I remember this now. Back on the grind. Grinding these rings down to make them fit. The company that makes these kits, when you get to see them at Adepticon this year, they're very cool and they're very pleasant to deal with. And they told us, like, you're going to need to file, you're going to have to do this work. It's really a no drill kit. It comes with. Oh, okay. Well, then we will wait. What I was saying is, when we met these guys at Adepticon, they were very nice, and they told me, the only thing you're going to need is a file to grind down some of these bits to make them fit right. Because, well, yes, they're using good resin printers, you know, everything might need some modifications, so that's where I'm at now. It's not too bad there, just a little bit more. But the people themselves were quite nice, and other than being really busy, their stuff is popular. And their kits are very complete, and instructions are quite good. So back to Drumlin. What these pieces are that I'm grinding are the guide rings for the magnets. So once these are in play, the magnets sit in these guide rings, and that one is now perfectly done. The magnets sit in these guide rings so that they line up perfectly with what you need. They're held in with friction, and sometimes can be a bit of a pain to get off, but sometimes not. And then, because if you don't line it up, it doesn't work right. So I gotta make sure I line that up correctly. Okay. First, lesson learned, you gotta put the glue on first because the glue applicator has a metal straw. And we'll pull the magnet right out of where you want it. Because these magnets are actually pretty strong. Apparently they use very high quality magnets, which I didn't think was a big issue, but it is. Because I got some low quality magnets for the basing to hold them on the bases, and I didn't realize how bad those magnets were until I was struggling with them. Hey, here, child. What's up, Eli? You just missed Jason. He gave me a raid. There we go. Magnet. How you doing this night, sir? Okay, so shoulder joint, we can Oh, you were lurking, Jason. Aha. So be it. Then you did miss him. Shows you what I know. It's nice of him to raid. Well, there's spider webs in YouTube. What was Jason playing? was he playing? Was he doing game dev stuff? Hades 2. I forgot to show you. I found one of the people I was following on Blue Sky did a Wazdaga, and they free-handed "hurry up" on the back of his jacket. And I was like, that's fucking fantastic. We're going to see some awesome Wazdaga stuff. And we already have, like the one you showed me, showed us. Some of the ones I've been seeing. People are gonna. That model is fantastic. People are gonna have some fun with it. That would be very true. Another one like can't drive 55. Oh no, the perfect thing. One of those new driver, please be patient stickers. All right, huh? Okay, so then
Macho FPS followed your channel.
Machu FPS, thank you for the follow. If you're a fan of all things 40k and Warhammer and stuff like that, let me know. I love hearing from people. I'm currently working on a, technically it's the Questoris kit, but it will be fielded as a Chaos Knight Despoiler. I'm also doing the magnetization setup from Magnet Baron for it, which is part of the reason there's been lots of grinding and other stuff going on. Because I want to be able to swap the weapons out. While the dual Gatling gun is extreme and the most potent thing there is currently, most effective, not about potent, but considering 11th is coming out real soon, maybe it'll need to be a bit more flexible. Maybe it'd be battle cannons or the plasmas or the Melta. I can't use the plasma. But yeah. All my Chaos Knights are corn flavored. That's the one up on there. The carnivore is chomping on his snacky. Bleeding a blood letter. All my knights are bleeding blood letters of some variety. But yeah. If you want to chat about the Mr. James Workshop's plastic crack, let me know. If you just want to lurk, go for it. That puts me to 155, I think. Yeah, nice. Really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the detachment focus for the Chaos Knights. So far, the Death Guard is being regarded as one of the strongest, but people are digging the flavors they're running with stuff. People really liked the corn stuff. Oh yeah. So should the family one have Gaz? Like obviously Gazgul is like the dad. If Gaz is the dad, like just a big orc next to it, a couple of Gretchen, and then like a couple squigs. Wog on board. So for anyone watching who doesn't know, my wife, my other car is a Killer Can. That's a good one. I like that one. Minerva Fox, art by Minerva Fox here, has a comic which you can check out there of a slice of life comedy thing of an orc and his squig. It was heavily inspired by our dog Lula and her inability to be normal, as there she sleeps in a weird croissant. Ooh, instead of gone fishing, gone fighting. Maybe a bit of both. She did bounce on it a bunch. Gone crumpin'. That's better. Well, you can do the Calvin pissing on it, where it's like Gretchen pissing on like the Imperial Eagle. weapons are complex. Just say, okay, go in that ring. I will need to come in here. Bump into that. Let's grab you. I can feel the air conditioning. Ooh, I got that too. Alright, let's grab that. And I return with sprue leftover bits from. Ooh, I can do chains. Leftover war dog bits. Because that battle force was actually a pleasant thing, so I wouldn't have had so many leftover pieces if I didn't go with that. That Hound Pack Lance battle force. Absolutely good. I mean, lots of extra pieces. Cutting out some spikes. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. All right. Some spiky bit decorations. Because it's not chaos without fucking stabbing me. It's not chaos unless it draws blood. Well, the hope is that with all the blood I sacrifice to this fucking thing, they'll roll well. It's the hope. Let's see how the Mechanicus thing back. Yeah, but still. Alright, we're almost onto the barrel assembly now. Alright. You're heretical. Okay, so this. The only downside is I'm not sure this is, which piece this is. To see, okay. You've got rings. You're the top. Okay, so you two are the bottom. Okay, I see it now. I see it now. We have established that Orc also has a bike. You see the Stampa for bad weather? Okay, so now that goes to the top. This goes down there. Like that. Okay, yes. That's how that goes. And you go in with up. Well, considering it's your comic, they can have everything. Alright, so that means there's another comic you'll need to do, hon. With Orc walking, Orc in the Stampa, Squig, like you see it from the I don't know if it'll work in the Stampa, maybe just in a truck. Squig hanging out the passenger side window. Or hanging out the window of... No, I know exactly. Okay. Orc and Squig driving. Squig's in the passenger seat. And Squig's leaping across... Like, the next panel is Squig, like, leaping across Orc. To, like, and leaning out the driver's side window. And the last panel is... From outside, you see... From the front, looking towards the vehicles... You see Squig hanging out the window, slobbering, and then there's Marine with guardsmen hanging out the window, looking at Squig. Yes, Machu FES, that is a Squig. They are, in the Warhammer universe, Squigs are basically mouths with, legs. They are kind of silly, kind of fun things that they're pets, but they can be all kinds of other stuff. But for all intents and purposes, we're using Squig as Orc's beloved pet. At least in the comics. Yeah, that is a squig. They are just something that's in Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar, which is the fantasy version. Squigs are in all their universes. Okay, it's the barrels. Squig is internal, so this is the barrels for the Gatling cannon. I don't have to drill these barrels because they're already drilled. Here's like the front pieces. I mean, heck, squigs are used in every aspect of orc life, even to the point of orcs don't naturally have hair, they have hair squigs. Which is a squig that has luscious hair and latches onto their heads. The whole plot of the Shuta's Blood and Teeth game is that someone stole his hair squig. There is the spoiler Gatling cannon, almost. Okay, so now this goes in that up on the top. Oh, it's because I'm holding it upside down. That's okay. This in like this. Okay, clean this one up. I'll do some decorations. This took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. It's been the story of this model. And everything else taken longer than I thought. It's alright. Hopefully I'll be able to get it primered up this week. I should be able to. A little warped. Just there? Okay. How long does it take me to do a model like this to finish? Hold on one sec. Well, I have this guy right here is one of equivalent size. So these the smaller ones, which they're called War Dog, they're smaller Imperial Knights. There's your regular Space Marine size-wise. These guys, it took me about a week, I would say, from assembling to paint, for me to paint them completely and do the base. Assembling, these guys I was doing about one every 2 days, I would say. The bases on these are a bit more in depth than most. This one probably took me about 4 or 5 days to assemble it. I'm not fully assembling them. Like these armor plates and stuff, I glued them on after I painted them, just for howdy Sanders, because it's a lot easier than trying
For
to
the Emperor!
do this. Oh, she moved. Paint this completed. It is. I've done it on other models. It is a fight and a nightmare. So I did them separately. This guy took probably about, what would you say, hun? Maybe week and a half to paint, or maybe even less. I think this one went pretty quick. This is probably about a week ish. Well, thank you. A week to paint. Now the bases. Ow! Stop stabbing me. The bases on these are far more in depth than most. Like a very basic base would be like this guy right here, where I just did a basic little bit of a grass, and then that rock was part of the base already, so I just painted that up. That's pretty basic on this one, a little bit of things like that. The bases for these guys start off looking like this one here, where I took cork, mapped it out, and then I'm going to build it up a little bit with more cork, seal it, primer it, paint it a couple coats, and then once they're done, I'll use a textured paint to make it look like rocks, and then using a resin to do it where it's like ice, and then I've got an effects paint to make it look like snow on there to give them this kind of snowy tundra base. I'm holding this one here. But these models, these ones are taking me a little longer to build than they would normally. Like, you could build this model in a day, I would say. These ones are taking me long because I have a kit here by a third-party company that allows me to magnetize the weapons so that I can pop the weapons off and put other weapons on. Like if I want them to have that laser cannon, or say I want them to have this power claw, I can swap out the weapons. These weapons aren't painted yet. That's something I'm doing because these guys come with everything you need to field them 8 different ways. This kit here can build it as a defender, a crusader, a gallant, a warden, an errant, a paladin, and that does not include the chaos versions, which are another 8 or 9. So it comes with all these different weapons and different ways to field them, and it's kind of a waste not to use this stuff because I want to do it, depending on what I'm playing against, I might want to field it with different weapons. So it is taking me longer to get through them because I'm having to do some work on grinding, use these different parts so that way I can click and put on the magnetized weapons. So it's taking me a little longer. And then because I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to this stuff, I like doing custom bits. Like this guy here is going to have this guy coming out of it, and they're bleeding demons. That's just the theme of the army is bleeding demon, literally bleeding demons. So not like, oh, those bleeding demons. No, like, oh, that's blood coming out of it with a demon. That's just the vibe I'm running with, because while the models are cool and the armies are very neat and all, I love having something more unique, something that is unique to me. No one is going to have, no one else has Chaos Knights that have bloodletters coming out of them. At least I haven't seen them. So, bloodletters are the demons with the swords. But yeah, I mean, that's just for me. I've seen people hammer these things out in no time. So if you have an airbrush, you can get it done a lot faster with a lot of stuff. I don't, because I just don't have a place for an airbrush. But then I've seen people, like there's a YouTuber, Squidmar Miniatures is the channel, and I've watched. Their paint schemes are unbelievably good. They are incredibly skilled. My wife said it correctly. They're miniature artists. But he, he had one model that he was modifying heavily, and to modify and paint it, it took him 4 years. Now, not 4 years constant work, but he talked about the fact that it easily took him, 400 or 500 hours into that miniature. Granted, that thing's a showstopper and amazing. But it's kind of all over the place, and I'm also not the fastest. I have been pushing myself lately with a hobby streak challenge thing that I've been doing on Blue Sky. It's helping me stay on task. It is absolutely a neat little hobby. It is, and once they're all done, you get to play them on a table and play army men and have miniature battles with them, which is the goal of this. It is a rabbit hole if you ever want to dive down this abyss. One of the easy ways to do it is the free way is to just listen to some lore channels on YouTube. There is so much over the top lore. There's tons of books. There's some really good books. But you can listen to like lore channels and they talk about stuff, and there's a lot to it. It's once a week I go to a Warhammer store to sit and socialize and paint with people. And like today there was, there was a crowd there painting. We had a couple of folks working on some miniatures from one of the other games called Necromunda, which is a gang war game. There was a young guy who's still in high school working on his first models. I've met him a few times. We've tried to help him out. He was learning how to dry brush. I was talking to him about that. There was a father and son assembling some models there. There was a gentleman working on his own knight. He was working on one of the smaller knights called the Destroyer. Hello, Deus Ex Macchiato. I like the name. That I just do it as an unofficial thing, but it is absolutely worth it to sit, and that's the biggest reason I started doing this streaming. Was a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away called California. See what the exactly. I used to go to a game store that C. the Ravine and I practically lived at in our youth. And that's where I got into this hobby. And it was I thought about it a lot. It was one of the greatest joys I had was, in the hobby side of things, not in personal life, that's the wife, was hanging out at that store, just chatting. And even though I was horrible at painting at the time, or I was horrible at playing the game, I had a lot of fun just chatting with my friends, talking stupid stuff, just being general idiots in crafting. So I'm like, how could I get that back a little bit? And that's where I started doing the streaming. But yeah, if you got a store that does it, or a place you can go to and do it, it's a blast. You learn some stuff, like, they were talking a lot of theory crafting about Necromunda today, which I just sat and listened to most of it because I haven't played Necromunda in a very long time. We're talking a little bit about the newest edition coming up and what we're looking forward to. And then there was that young guy learning, hadn't heard of dry brushing. He's like, oh, how do I do that? And we showed him how to dry brush, and he was starting to do that on his models. GW has worked hard lately on, I thought I got 2 of those chains, didn't I? Did I suck it up into this thing? Nope, okay. GW has worked hard on making it more accessible to people. There was a while where it was very elitist and kind of toxic. It was around 8th edition. and they worked really hard on getting that out and making it more friendly. And hey, you know what? Come on and have fun. The sponging is that your results are looking great, Sanders. Like, it shows. I use some of the sponges for more texturing stuffs, but right now I'm adding spiky bits to this gun because Chaos, which is the faction these guys are going to be, these are Chaos Knights, are all about the spikes. Ooh, I look forward to seeing that. The NMM thing that he's talking about is non-metallic metals. It is a style of painting metal without using metallic paints. Just use shading and stuff, and it looks brilliant when it's done. And you control your light sources. I don't have the patience really for it, and I like the metallic metals. I am not. Unfortunately, it is a Sunday night. I do have work tomorrow, and I have invoicing I have to finish. So I'll be wrapping up shortly. I wish I could stay up. Well, no, I can. I'm choosing not to because I will old and I will suffer from this tomorrow. I'm just trying to finish up this Gatling cannon finish up some of the decorations on this Gatling cannon. This Questoris Knight has been fighting me. I've had to clean up and Dremel and do lots of stuff on it. It's really been fighting me for bits. So there we go. Some nice spikes, little chain hanging off. I am old. I said that. Ooh, nice. Yeah, the Gracier was looking really good in the stuff I saw you posting. I was showing Minerva some of the. I saw pictures of a Gracier on Blue Sky, and she was digging it. Skaven have some great looking models. They really do. Oh, yeah, throw that up there. Ratman. Ratman. I think that's actually a good spot, because I thought I had another chain thing I could put on, but I apparently don't know where the hell I put it. Or I dropped it or I ate it, I don't know at this point. But yeah, so I think I made some decent progress tonight, even with all the fighting and things I had to do. I got all the magnetized bits here done so that I can do the shield, the head, and the melt-a-gun. So it's coming together. This is one of the Gatling cannons, which this will be one of the ways I will be fielding this is a dual Gatling cannon. Just because it's a great way for There you go. So that is that so far. Look at lots of bits here for other magnetization. Tomorrow I will work on, I'll do a little bit more spikes on this and some decorative bits. And then I will work on the other Gatling cannons. I'm going to build them the way I'm going to field them first. And I also got to glue that shoulder joint on. I'm not going to bother with that. But not too bad, not too bad. I'll build the other Gatling cannon and then also determine the pose. Like, how do I want it to be? I'm thinking I'm going to have it going that way. It's a bit more flexible in this, so I can angle them up and down. I can give them kind of an opposing down look. I might do that. Anywho. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with me while I craft on this despoiler. I stream every most Saturdays and Sunday, and then most Saturdays and then almost every Sunday and Monday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. So I'll be back on tomorrow night to keep cranking on this, and then after that, when you see him next Saturday, it'll be much further along because I also work on it every night during the week. So with that, thank you everybody for watching, and I will catch you all another night and leave you with Alula. Good night, everybody.